Oh, hi! This week, I'm going to show you guys how to make a watch roll travel case thing. My friend Rockwell gets credit for the idea because he asked me to help him make one a while ago. I'm going to make another one to send to his friend Eric. So hey Eric, if you're watching this, surprise! I'm sending you a watch roll. And before you click away because you're like, I don't own watches, you don't have to put watches in the pockets, and you can also change the pocket sizes to fit something else. It's just, I'm putting the idea in your head, okay? Here's what you need. I already took the top off, I'm sorry. The main thing you're going to need for this travel case is a thick, durable fabric. This is some duck canvas. You can get waxed canvas, which is a little more waterproof. This is slightly water repellent, like it'll bead off the fabric, but I think if you were to soak it, it would get everything wet inside. And then for the lining, you want a really soft material. It feels like the oldest flannel in your closet, like the most worn in. It doesn't quite have holes worn in it type of thing, but it's just the softest shit ever, because new flannel can be a little stiff and shitty to wear and a little scratchy, but like this stuff is new. This hasn't been worn by a bunch of old lumberjacks. I also have some strap material. On the first one we did, we had like one continuous loop, but I'm gonna have to get a little creative with these little remnants. You could just use leftovers from the material you're using for the case, but I want to make it real fancy. And actually some of the watch rolls we were looking up just have like string tying it together, which, I mean, you do you, but I like buttons, so we're gonna do buttons. Speaking of, this is a cool button set thing. All the pieces came in a little like grommet set. I also had to buy like a little anvil set thing, which means you're gonna need a hammer. Oh, also scissors, pins, matching thread, and a sewing machine. So depending on how many watches you travel with, or whatever else you're gonna tuck into this travel case, that's gonna change the size. But for what I am doing, there's gonna be 4 pockets. I have cut out a 14 by 14 inch square of each piece of material, and I'm going to stitch all of this right sides together, but leaving a little gap so that I can pull everything back out. Yay, look at that. Oh, I definitely did not make this big enough. Before I turn it out, I'm gonna actually trim down the edges because I left a pretty decent seam allowance with these pinking shears. They have kind of crisscross cut blades. Holy shit, that took me so many times to say right. So you're just cutting it a little closer like that. And now I'm turning everything right side out. Just, why did I make this hole so tiny? I feel like I'm disemboweling a popple. Also, for anybody playing along at home, I gave up on my beer because I forgot how much I don't like that beer. I'm gonna take a pen, push the corners out so they're nice and pointed. Otherwise they're gonna stay like rounded in on themselves a little bit like this. You wanna take something sharp because it's gonna stab right through everything. Cool. So now I'm gonna take my gap and fold over those open edges onto themselves, so it's going to kind of sandwich together like this. And just to keep the edges from curving in on themselves like it wants to do right here, I'm going to do a round of top stitching very close to the edge all the way around, so we'll give it like a nice professional look. Okay friends, so this next part, to figure out where to put everything, took a little finagling. It's going to depend on preference, how many pockets you have, how bulky the watches are. For what I'm doing, I first had to figure out how tall I wanted my pocket, which is 4 inches. So everything's going to get tucked in here. I'm going to make little pocket dividers, and this is going to fold over, and then it can roll up like this. I did say I was gonna make 4 pockets, but I feel like stacking 4 watches on top of each other is gonna make this not look as nice, to be honest. So I think I'm gonna stick with 3. It'll be more spacious, but then if Eric, you have some like tools or something to tuck in here, there'll be, you know, extra room next to the watches. Anyways, so as you can see, I still have the pocket flap pinned for right now because I wanna stitch the cord on first. I'm making a little tab on the edge of the back so that everything's gonna fold over like this. Fold over the ends of this other piece, put it right in the middle here, so that way I can put a snap on this side. I'm gonna put 2 other receiving pieces over here just to give options, so if you need it tighter, cool, and if you need it looser, also cool. Is any of this making sense yet? So yeah, I just want to be able to stitch all of these pieces on before I close this flap, so all the stitching will be under the pocket and hidden from prying eyes. But before these actually get attached, I'm just leaving pins for little markers so I know where I decided to put these. I folded over the ends of each of these brown pieces just to make sure there's no raw edges hanging out. Just gonna do a simple line of straight stitching across both edges on both pieces. Ooh, so cute! Now the last thing we do before we actually stitch these to the wrap, roll, pita, whatever you want to call it, we have to hammer in the little clasp button things. So for the strap that's going to go on the edge, gonna have the nice finished button over here, and then the little nubby piece is gonna go on the inside here. Alright, so I'm pretty sure I just need to push these prongs so they're all through right there. I'm gonna line up this little lip that's on here and over all the teeth. I'm gonna lay the flat bit on this little anvil piece. Gonna take this guy. It even has a little insert for the nubbin. Gonna take the hammer and whack that shit a couple times, I guess. I think I did it okay. Now for the adjustable sections, I'm gonna put this open back piece with the teeth on it up through the bottom side, and then lay this side with the little lip over the teeth. Lay this side on the little anvil, then have this one on top and hammer. Yeah, we're looking okay. I'm gonna put the second one, try to keep them lined up, and one last time. All right, so the wrong side has these two on here, and then we got these two hella professional looking ones over here. Do a little test snap. Shit. Yeah. Okay, now is the attaching part. I'm gonna pin this middle section in place. Make sure I'm only going through one layer of the wrap roll. Pita, whatever. Just gonna make sure that these are in line with each other and attach this baby right at the end. And I'm gonna do a bunch of stitching on all of this, and then we'll do the pockets. Cool, cool. Something to keep in mind is these won't fit under your sewing foot, so unless you have a zipper foot or something, just make sure there's a wide enough girth, whatever word you want to use, so that the sewing foot can actually clear that space. And now we pocket. I'm putting mine up about 4 inches, but again, it's just gonna depend on what you're putting in your little roll-up. I am planning on making like a toiletry roll-up travel bag. That's gonna be a whole different scenario. If you want to see something like that, stay tuned. It's coming. Yay! So I'm gonna do some straight stitching. I'm just gonna try to keep it along the same line I did the top stitching. And now the last step is just divvying up the actual pocket section. This is gonna be a problem if you wanted, say, 4 pockets. This shit's gonna be right in the middle. I guess you could sneak your needle through here if you had a zipper foot or something. I'm in the clear, but just factor that into your design when you're making yours. And all I'm doing to divvy it up is measuring the width of the whole thing. We're like right at 13 inches. So let's call it 4 1/3 inches. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm real good at math, you guys. Got my little pin markers, not interfering with this guy back here. Yep, just do a line of straight stitching. It's the last step. I didn't totally botch this. Wait, I don't want to speak too soon. Fuck, I totally spoke too soon. Not that it ruined it, but the stitching went a little off because this got in the way and I should have just gone slower. That's the last step. Try to keep your seam straight is all I have to say. Tuck some things right in here. Grab some thread spools, I guess, just to give it some dimension. So you lay this flap down, fold this over, and then fold this one over. And you get your little snaps back here, and you got a cute little travel bag. I'm really glad I was able to almost duplicate the one I made for Rockwell. I think his came out better. I will post some pictures here, and this is me talking over them. I don't like doing voiceovers. They make me feel very weird for some reason. Also cats. Well, Eric, now you know you're getting a present, so you're welcome, I guess. If you'd like to see other videos, including hopefully soon in the future, a toiletry travel bag with vinyl, because I found a whole fucking roll of the shit and I'm gonna use it up. You can go ahead and subscribe up here somewhere. If you would like to donate to my Patreon and perhaps receive something like this in the mail, go ahead and check that out up here. And since a watch roll feels like a very dapper project to make, here's the dapper shit show that was me making a wallet out of a necktie. Hence the duck in duck canvas. Shit just rolls right off.